So I decided to go on maybe a 25 pound bulk since I've been kind of plateauing for a bit. I've been hovering around 175 pounds for the past like maybe year or so. And granted, there was COVID, so I probably would have gained a little bit more weight, but still, I was still around 175. Like maybe at some points I was like 180. I think I was like 180 at some point, but then I lost weight because I wasn't eating as much anymore. That I dropped down to like 175, 176 or something. So I decided I would go on a deliberate bulk to try and to see if this bulking and cutting stuff worked because I just figured, a lot of my fitness influence has been from Greg Doucette and Athlean-X, who don't really tell you to bulk or anything. Athlean-X doesn't really talk about nutrition. And Greg Doucette, he's a big proponent of, you know, a Maingaining philosophy where you stay at a specific body weight, specific body fat, and then you try and gain muscle from there. So I wasn't hungry. I wasn't feeling weak or tired or anything. So I just stayed the same weight. I didn't try and fix my diet to any significant degree. I would eat more protein. I would eat more creatine at some point, but I never like specifically went out and tried to, gain weight and bulk up. So that's kind of my reasoning behind bulking up. So as you can see from the pictures here, I've gained 20 pounds and it looks like my body fat hasn't changed at all. So that's why I said 20 pounds of muscle in the thumbnail and in the title. But like it really isn't actually 20 pounds because like when people gain weight, a lot of the times they don't realize how much fat they're also gaining with the muscle that they're gaining. A lot of people, they gain like 20 pounds of muscle in their first year of training. But if you do like some critical thinking, you'd realize that at least half of that can't actually be muscle. If they didn't gain a single pound of fat, then the muscle to fat ratio would skew heavily in the muscle's favor. So if someone's like 150 pounds and they gain nothing but raw muscle for 20 pounds, they will look completely reformed. They would have much much bigger, more bulgy muscles and a much lower body fat percentage because proportionally, again, they would have a much lower body fat. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, again, back to the main point of the video. People have been telling me to not really gain too much fat. I don't really need to do all that stuff. But then, I decided to gain. I tried to get up to 205 pounds, but it's been very hard. For the first month or something, it was really easy to get like more calories, and I just had to like eat slightly bigger proportions. I gained about 10 pounds in about 2 months, and as you can see, my physique, like, it just got bigger. I gained like muscle and fat, like I've been saying before, but I just look like I have a bigger frame, and I just look like I'm a bigger person, which is very nice to see because I haven't seen any significant visual changes in a long time. So this was I was very pleasantly surprised to see this. The first picture I believe was taken January 6th, which is my birthday. I got that new phone for my birthday, so I'm like, I'm gonna take a physique pic. And the second picture I believe was February 27th or 28th. I don't know why, I just felt big that day, so I decided to take a picture. Oh yeah, all these photos, by the way, there's no pump, there's no pump. I didn't like do push-ups beforehand. I just like literally got on the camera, took off my shirt, flexed for a bit, took a picture or two, and that's it. That's what I look like. The third picture here, you can see I'm gaining a little bit more fat, but on the flip side, I might actually not be getting that much more fat. I might actually, my body fat percentage might not actually be changing that much because this is a different mirror, and this mirror I think is like the lighting is less favorable than the mirror at the other place in my house. So, who knows if I did take a picture on that mirror, I might actually just do that right now. I still have gained a significant amount of muscle, much more than I thought, and not too much fat, it looks like. Like, as you can see from the pictures, it's like not even just like, okay, my belly got kind of bigger with all the pictures, that is true, but like my shoulders, my arms, my chest especially. I know I've been working on my chest a lot with, I've been focusing a lot on my chest lately because it was kind of a weak point. My chest, my shoulders, my arms, they've all gotten significantly bigger. If I remember correctly, I I used to have 16.7 or 16.8 inch arms around the time at the beginning of the year, January 6th, when I first took that photo. They're like a little bit under 17 inches if my brother measured them correctly. And, you know, eventually, when I was at 185 pounds, I think my arms were like 17.3, 17 point, not 17.3, like 17.1, 17.2. And now at 195 pounds, which is what I'm at right now, I'm at like 197 actually, but when I took that photo, it was 195, around there. I'm still around there, I guess, but now my arms are 17 and a half inches, which is easily the biggest they've ever been. When I first, like a long time ago, when I first took a measurement of my arm, they were about 15 and like 15.8 inches. And then eventually they started getting bigger and bigger. And now they're 17 and a half. So I think that's pretty, this is what they look like, I guess, if you're curious. Maybe I should roll my sleeves up like that, if you're curious. So 17, I don't know if the lighting is optimal to portray that. The reason I'm making this is because just to tell you, all of you guys, that, maybe you guys should actually, look into bulking more. I have no idea why this actually happened. If you can tell me why it actually happened in the comments, that'd be great, but I'm not actually sure why it happened. I guess if I were to give a guess, right, as to why it happened, is that I had some latent, this is complete bro science, by the way, I'm just completely making this up. It's from my head. You need more calories to maintain muscle, so it stands to reason that if you want to gain more muscle, you will have to eat more, which essentially means that at some point you will have to bulk and your body fat will have to fluctuate at some point to maximize your muscle gain, to know even how much muscle you can even build. Because if Ronnie Coleman was eating like, really like I don't know how much calories he eats, probably like 5,000 calories or something in his prime. Let's say he ate 3,000 calories, right? He might not even be hungry for, I don't know what his appetite's like, but he might not even be hungry. I don't have a big appetite, by the way. That's like one of the main things that's been really hard. I don't have a big appetite. It's very hard to eat this much food. So if Ronnie Coleman was eating 3,000 calories, his muscles wouldn't be able to gain as much. His muscles wouldn't be as big. They like simply did not have the proper nutrients, the facilities to actually grow as big as they did, even if he wasn't hungry. Which means that he did have to eat more and kind of bulk up to actually allow the muscles enough nutrients to grow. So that's sort of, I guess, part of the point I'm trying to make with this video, that you will need to bulk at some point to gain the infrastructure to actually gain more muscle. If that makes any sense. At least that's my theory. Someone can correct me in the comments. I'm not making this up, I guess. I'm creating reasonable inferences, I suppose. But, I don't know if this is actually true. If someone can like correct me on this or something, that'd be great. I'm not a fitness expert. I just thought this would be a interesting video to make and something that might intrigue some of you. And yeah, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all next time. Peace.